read something in anything. But Brother Kevin came to me the other day and he said, "Preacher," he said, you know, when we started, when you were doing the Mevo, and you started doing that, he said, that was really good for you and Miss Christie to kind of do it on the wing in a prayer, and it's done great. But he said, we really, you know, putting your thinking in prayer, be good for us maybe to upgrade a little bit. And we talked with Brother Rich and upgrade and that kind of thing. And I said, okay, we'll kind of put that on the back burner. I just don't think a whole lot about that per se on the YouTube in the morning. And just what we do, I don't really realize sometimes how much we're reaching people. But I got this email last evening, and I didn't see it until this afternoon. It says, "Dear Pastor Tillis," and I'll withhold his name. He says, "I've been listening. It's been a while, but I've been listening. I love the podcast, and I love your YouTube channel. I enjoy listening to them, and you're a great pastor. I wanted to email you because I do believe we are living in end times, and I'm scared because I don't know if I've truly been saved. I remember I think I might have been saved when I was 13 years old at a youth retreat, but I'm not sure. However, since I've grown up, since I've grown up and been in college, I haven't been living for Christ, and I've been praying and reading and hoping that God would forgive me. And I've searched for a good church. However, all the Christian programs at my school are either prosperity churches or churches that support and allow and involve themselves with Catholicism and Mormonism. I hope that you can help me and give me some insight." I can, and I did. Amen. And I will. He and I are going to be talking here very soon via Skype. Please continue your YouTube videos and podcasts. Without those, I wouldn't have realized my sins.
Amen.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good deal. We are in prayer, and I think we've been praying. And Brother Kevin and I, of course, I've talked with Brother Rich as well. We need to upgrade two things. Number one, if you've ever listened to the YouTube messages afterwards, you realize that the sound is a little off. It's not as good as it should be. Number two, the camera is not quite as good as it should be. It's good, it's not bad. But I think this would help us with getting the gospel out. I talked with Brother Kevin this afternoon, and I said, throw me some numbers at high end. And I think if we have $2,000, we would be able to get the camera that we needed and get the sound equipment that we needed to make what we're doing even better. Now, if God puts it on your heart, give towards it, put it in the offering plate, put it on the envelope, write camera and gospel. If not, no harm, no foul. But I feel like this is a good opportunity to give because there's more of those out there. I just read to you one. We've got preachers that call and talk. There's a preacher that called me today, this morning when I was in Sunday school class. He was way out on the West Coast. He said, "Preacher, will you please pray for me and my church?" He said, "I've got to deal after the service with a domestic violence issue that took place in the church, and I just don't know what to do. I've never had to deal with this before." Well, the only way that he and I know one another, and he's on the other coast, is through this camera right here. He's listened to our preaching, and he and I have become close friends, and I'm able to mentor him and spend a little bit of time with him, and it comes from that, and that happens a lot more. So I think the Lord's blessing that. If God puts it on your heart, give towards it. Make sure you mark that, if you will. And I think it'll be a real blessing, and there's no telling what the Lord's going to do. The second thing about it is long after I'm gone, if the Lord tarries his coming, all of these gospel messages, as long as the government keeps it up, will be out there on the internet for people to stumble across and to find. And have you got 1 second for me to tell you a quick story? My fundamental stance on the King James Bible, my stance on it developed from me skimming through YouTube, coming across a preacher, watching that video, and following that train of thought. The Lord led me down to where I am today. And it all came from that video of him preaching in 1994, and the Lord used that. So I think it's just like if we had a tape player and we needed to upgrade to a CD recorder, it's the same sort of thing. So put that in your prayer, put that in your thinking, and now it's time to answer some odd questions tonight. Amen. Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Father, help me, give me wisdom. I need it tonight. In Jesus' precious name I pray. Amen. All right, grab your Bible real quick, and let's get into some questions. Let's get the first one out of the way. If I've had it once, I've had it 100 times. This one actually came in online from a guy who watches on YouTube, a really cool cat. and I never knew him before. He saw the Soul Trap podcast that I had done, and then he saw me on another broadcast. I was actually supposed to do one this past Thursday, but Brother Schaefer on the show Uncensored had some technical difficulties. We weren't able to do it, but this guy's a really cool cat. He asked me, he goes, all right, preacher, who is Melchizedek? And my answer to him in Genesis chapter number 14, my answer to him is, I don't have the foggiest idea who Melchizedek is. But he said, could it be the resurrected Adam? And of course, I think the answer to that is no. If you go in your own time to Genesis chapter number 14, you'll find that there's a story of a king that met Abraham, and he is an odd guy. Nobody quite understands